Hey, what's up everybody? It's Luke. Thanks for watching this video. I am a Sacramento area photographer and I've been shooting for many years on Sony systems and even Canon before that. But recently, like I shared in my first video, I'm giving Leica a shot, and I went out a few weeks ago with the M11 to shoot one of my favorite models, Sasha, and we went to R Street in Sacramento, which is sort of like it's a district that's sort of been reviving the last few years. A lot of new restaurants have been there. There's a lot of cool architecture there. I highly recommend visiting R Street if you get a chance to come to Sacramento. It's just a great place to hang out. There's some nice restaurants and nice shops to check out. Just a cool vibe, both in the morning, afternoon, and even in the evening. There's a lot of stuff there to see. I thought it would be a nice place just to hang out with her and do a little shooting with the M11, to sort of practice with it, to kind of get my bearings with it. But I have to tell you, I really struggled with this thing mightily, and in fact, even now, a couple weeks later, I still feel like I'm really struggling with this camera. And there's many things that I'm going to be talking about today, how I've been feeling with this camera, and what have my struggles been with the M11. So I was really excited to shoot with Sasha. I'm going to leave a link to her Instagram down below here. I also went out with my friend Gloria, who was actually doing a little bit of B-roll for me that day. So I'll leave a link to her Instagram as well. Check them both out. They're amazing people. And they help me out a lot all the time. But in any case, I was out with Sasha. She was sort of the main subject of the photos. And I was trying to shoot with the M11. And I just could not get along with the camera whatsoever. I thought every shot that I took looked like it came out of a cell phone. A couple of things that I found especially trying, I guess, was looking through the viewfinder. Beautiful viewfinder. There's a huge magnification on it, and it does show you when you turn it on, you can see the frame lines for the 35mm, but I don't know what it is. Is it my eyes or what? But when I look into the viewfinder and I look at the 35mm frame lines, it's so huge, like that they go out. I can't even see the whole frame. It's like when you're at a movie theater and you're sitting too close to the screen. That's how it feels when I'm looking at the 35mm frame lines within the M11. So I don't know if it's the magnification factor that I'm not used to, but it just made it really hard for me to compose my photographs. I was trying to compose and it was just a hard time. I just had a really hard time composing the way that I wanted to, because I'm so used to having a live view, not just the optical viewfinder. And so I would take photos and they would just not look correct. They would not look like how I had envisioned shooting them. I've never come up with this problem before. I just kept shooting and shooting and trying to get used to the frame lines, but then I also had trouble focusing the camera because it was a portrait session. We were on the streets, but I wasn't trying to do any kind of zone focusing. I was trying to shoot at 1.4, and with that small of a depth of field, it made it really hard to nail focus. So I missed a lot of focus. I was trying to use the little, for those of you who don't know, and I'm learning this too, there's like a little square inside the viewfinder. If you look at it, and the whole thing is you're trying to align sort of the bigger picture with the smaller square to match up, and then when they match up, they're in focus. But then that patch is like right in the middle of the viewfinder. So I don't typically just compose right in the very center of the frame. You know, I'm trying to get the eyes, and so the eyes end up being, you know, a little bit higher in the frame, or if it's not in portrait, if it's more of a horizontal shot, I don't typically just put the eyes dead center right there. They kind of go off to the side. I just couldn't hit it. Like I tried the old DSLR thing where you would focus, recompose, and then I check to see critical focus, and I would always be missing. It felt bad. It felt horrible. Um, I didn't know what to do. So I didn't want to waste Sasha's time. I didn't want to waste Gloria's time. So what I ended up doing was I just said, oh, screw it. I'm just going to use the live view on the back, and I'm going to use focus peaking. And so, you know, I used it like when I had the old Sony Nex series. They didn't have like a viewfinder or anything, so I was just shooting sort of like almost like a cell phone, you know, just looking at the back of the screen, except this time I'm sort of trying to pull the focus into the correct, trying to get the right focus and shoot that way. And I was able to get a few shots done, but you know, I just was not happy with my results. I wasn't happy with myself. I just thought, oh man, I suck at this. Come to realize later that, you know, 35mm and rangefinders, they don't get you very close to your subject. Now, this is a Summilux 1.4, and these guys have sort of a closer focus, but you can't use the patch inside here to focus it. You actually have to use live view to focus closely, closer to, I think it's 0.4 meters is the closest focal distance that you can get. So in order to utilize that, you have to use the live view. So you're not going to be like this, very close to your subject. You're going to be like looking at the back of the screen on the live view, trying to, you know, look at the focus peaking and making sure that you're getting things in focus. And I'll admit, I'm a pixel peeper. I shoot Sony. Sony almost always gets critical focus, nails the focus, makes it look super sharp, super good. It tracks the face. Movement is not a problem. Boy, the rangefinder is a difficult beast to handle. And I know a lot of people do zone focusing on the street, but I'm someone who loves shallow depth of field, and that's what I was trying to accomplish with a lot of the photos today. And I just felt like I didn't really get the results I wanted. Now, thankfully, I feel like I did get a few good results from our session with Sasha. So at the end of the video, I will share those results with you. But I will let you know I switched to the Q3 for many shots because like I said, I didn't want to waste Sasha's time. I didn't want to waste Gloria's time. So I busted out the Q3, and I was shooting with the old Q3, which I felt way more comfortable with. Q3 is an autofocusing camera. I've shot it many times and have enjoyed it. But thinking back to when I first got this, I got this at the end of 2024, so maybe half a year ago. I remember I actually hated this camera when I got it. I could not get along with it. Similarly to how I felt with the M11 these past few weeks, I just hated shooting with this 28mm focal length. I didn't like that the autofocus felt kind of slow on this camera. I didn't like a lot of things about this camera, but I just shot it and shot it. And at this point, I love shooting with the Q3. It's a camera that I would be happy to bring anywhere, you know, walking around, doing things. This is a great camera for me. 28 is a focal length that I feel like I've gotten used to and I enjoy shooting at. 35, not so much. I'm not used to it yet, but my sincere hope is as I get used to this ecosystem with Leica, as I get used to a rangefinder, my hope is I will fall in love with this system. I spent a pretty penny on this. I hope I fall in love with it, but I'm actually glad for the struggle because honestly 35 is not my favorite focal length, and I actually picked 35 because it's something that was missing sort of in my arsenal. I love to shoot with 70-200s. I love to shoot with 50mm lenses. I'm not a big fan of like wider lenses. Somehow this 28 worked for me. It does have a macro mode. It does shoot close. So in that way I do like this. But this rangefinder makes you shoot at a further distance. It also makes it more challenging and harder to shoot at closer distances. There's a lot of quirks about these rangefinders. I'm really iffy about zone focusing, if that's something I want to even try to do, because I've tried, and I will make a video on this later. I've tried zone focusing, and I want to get good at zone focusing, but it's a technique that I don't know if I'm going to be a huge fan of. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that, and we'll just talk about zone focusing more in a future video. But I don't want to leave you with just me. Why don't I take some time at the very end of this video now to show you some of the shots that I got with the Q3 and with the M11, just so that you can see some of the work that I've done on this session with Sasha. Hope you enjoy the photos. I will definitely label them Q3 or M11 so that you'll see what they are. But hopefully you'll enjoy them. The model were great. Sasha was great. Gloria was great. They both helped out tremendously for me, and this is not going to be my last shoot with them. Obviously, we'll shoot again very, very soon. But I do want to thank them for helping me kind of break in the M11, and I'm going to need their help a lot more. But for now, let's check out some of the photos.